My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Just before we began, Fergus disappeared off the backstage, but I'm sure he'll be in momentarily. Anyway, of course, today we are going to watch Keys against Bencic. So in true talking tennis fashion, let's actually begin by talking about a different match because Fils and Medvedev are now in a deciding set tiebreak, and that is very, very exciting. We've got Fergus back.
Hello. Sorry, my Wi-Fi dropped out.
No worries, no worries. 3 points all in the match that we're not supposed to be watching. Now.
But everyone is at this current moment. Yep.
Could be a real breakthrough moment in Fils' career if he wins this one. But yeah, gotta stick to his guns. Gotta keep playing as smart as he's been so far. And that's not going to be easy under that sort of pressure.
Should we talk about what we're actually supposed to be talking about?
As you wish. I mean, we could also just like watch the tiebreak until the end and then start watching Bencic Keys.
That sounds better to me. I think this is a double watch along.
Yeah, double watch along, of course. Yeah, from 2-all in the deciding set tiebreak, but it's a double watch along, and we should get paid double. Wow.
I mean,
well, that's some primal screaming from Arthur Fils.
He's been doing that. He's been doing that all week. Well, I just hope this watch along lasts longer than our last one.
Yeah, I was just reminiscing that in my head as well. That the Mickelson Medvedev one. I guess Fils Medvedev will be very similarly, like the length of our watch along of this tie-break will be very similar to our watch of Medvedev Mickelson. But yeah, I mean it's as exciting as it gets. It's 5 points all in the deciding set breaker. Soon we will be moving on to Belinda Bencic against Madison Keys, the match you probably came here for, the match we came here for, but this is quite big now. Keys has had a lot of good ideas today. Not easy to execute though, when the pressure is really on at the moment.
I don't know where you are in a stream, Sam, but
where are you?
Match point Medvedev.
Me too.
After Fils hit that backhand into the net, went big and missed. A little resurgence from Medvedev this week or last week and a half. Been playing well. Oh, okay. Something's happened from Damien's reaction, and I will.
Why the hell did you not stream the blockbuster of a match in Andreeva Svitolina? Sorry, Nurlan. I couldn't. I was playing table tennis, but now I am available to your all potential inquiries and questions. As Arthur Fils saves a match point with a pretty big inside in forehand. Well, you saw my reaction in terms of my face. I wonder how much. No, okay, you probably didn't see something else I did. That's good.
What are you streaming it on? I'm just curious.
It's like this Russian up.
Quite fast.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
A lot faster than Sky, or Sky on my phone at least.
I was still like saying that with a delay. The quality is horrible, but you can rewind, so it's a good resource, you know.
Oh no!
Well, yeah. The match point on serve that feels saved, but now he has to save a match point on
Such a
return.
good serve as well from Feast, and Medvedev with an unreal return. What he does.
It's the bread and butter that didn't work for Feast there with the +1 forehand, but well, they're in the point. Many rallies like this, he's gotten errors from Medvedev in this match. And indeed, once more that happens. After this match, Arthur Fils should just like straight move to grass, you know, with that slice. something new in his arsenal.
He's spamming the slice like hugely.
Yeah. Next event, Wimbledon. Actually, he made the 4th round last year, so.
Yeah, lost to Dimino, didn't he?
Yeah. Defeated Hubert Hurkacz with 2 sets of a ridiculous backhand performance and 2 sets of, well, a bit more of a mess, of course, ending in a Hurkacz retirement due to any issue.
Pushing it too much. He's good. He's really let loose, cut all ties, and going for broke. When I feel like there's a different opportunity to win the point here against Medvedev. When it's this close, Damien's reaction is telling me something. Oh yeah, really? Misses the first serve.
It's justified. It's justified.
Oh, okay. Oh, no way. Oh, yeah. That's the most I've seen Medvedev celebrate in a match, maybe ever. Misses the volley on top of the net as Medvedev puts it straight back onto him, and Medvedev explodes. Wow.
Yeah, serve and volley. That previous point you mentioned when he like really went full ham on his backhand. Yeah, some execution, some decisions, in the breaker, maybe a little off for Fields. But yeah, great match, and indeed, maybe that's the most that Medvedev has ever celebrated a win.
I actually think he's celebrated more there than he did winning the US Open.
I mean, for sure, easily, yeah.
Different kind of reaction.
All 7 matches combined.
Yeah, actually, yeah. When he won the US Open, he just went to bed. But yeah, wow, what a huge win for Medvedev. And we've missed the first 2 games of Bencic Keys, which is currently Keys' had the early break, 2-love up in the first set. Bencic 30-15. I mean, Ozan, it's tough. I think the serve and volley was maybe it was the right call, and the first volley was pretty good, but I mean the second volley just pinged, like just.
I mean,
weird.
Second volley wasn't even a volley, you know. I mean, he just wasn't ready for the response at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, seemed like one would do the trick. I can't really blame him for that much, I suppose. But yeah, certainly wasn't like a horrible decision or something like that. Seemed like it was gonna do the trick. It didn't. Medvedev got to it really quickly.
Bencic was game point to get on the board in this match. Yeah, my day's been okay, thanks, Jake. I mean, I wasn't actually expecting this much play, but it hasn't rained at all in Indian Wells, which is good for us. There was a moment in the Feast Medvedev match where there was like a mini storm and the wind was super bad. But yeah, not too bad with weather-wise. I'm not entirely sure. It's because when I go back, the camera follows me.
So it's like AI.
Yeah,
smart camera.
It follows me, which is slightly annoying, but it's okay. So I do apologize if it's annoying you, but I actually can't change it. It's the camera setting, not the iPad setting. So yeah.
We have the score on our screens as well. Welcome to the producer. Well, time for me to switch the stream. The last 1 minute or so, I was trying to catch a screenshot of Medvedev celebrating, but he was so, he was so like jumping left, up and down, and kind of going crazy that I couldn't. Like, it literally couldn't grab something that would be, stable and not blurry. So, well, I ended up catching a blurry screenshot. And now I can finally move on to the match we are actually supposed to watch today. Fantastic. And I am moving to a very tough scenario for Bencic already. Well, we kind of skipped any like pre-match talk. I guess we might kind of return to that after this game is over, because now, of course, Madison Keys has a breakpoint to go 2 breaks up. So this seems pretty vital. But yeah, Madison Keys on such a long win streak since Australia, except she also hadn't played since Australia until Indian Wells. So, well, you can look at it both ways. The streak is on, but it's also a little, well, not off, but it's not like a proper win streak where you are, I don't know, playing 3 events in 3 weeks. But that's good for her, maybe. I mean, she shouldn't be tired, really. She hasn't played all that much. No, I did not watch Special K versus the legend Cuckoo, Jake.
What?
11-0
I would have thought you would have been all over that.
I mean, first day it's 8 matches in Phoenix and 8 matches in Cap Cana. Pretty tough to keep up with everything, alongside, of course, Santiago and well, also there's this small event called Indian Wells. And yeah, I mean, I got back home like an hour ago or so, well, maybe a little more than that. So it wasn't that easy to follow everything today. One more breakpoint for Madison Keys with a fantastic 1-2 punch.
Maybe Bencic is she's not quite I mean, her first serve is, I mean, both players' first serves are on the floor, really. I mean, Keys is at 33%. First serve, but she only has served 1 game. And Bencic does well to fend off that break point. Not enough depth on the Keys return. Yeah, we'll yeah, Damien, what are your thoughts on the Andreeva win? Did you see?
No, barely anything. I mean, it's definitely like it's a tougher matchup actually than Rybakina or Towson. Svitolina tends to do very well against all these like counter punchy types, very different opponent. So yeah, good for Mira to pull through. And now we have a pretty ridiculous semi-final lined up. We've had that situation like last year, for example, when Iga just doesn't play anyone in Indian Wells that's like of note and basically sleepwalks through the draw. Well, that is done. She has a real opponent in the semis, and very excited to see how that match pans out.
Another break point for Keys to make it 3-love. How many games will Draper win against the mighty Ben Shelton? 13.
Will it be enough to win the match?
Yes.
Unless he both ways.
Unless he gets bageled in the well, no, 13.
No. I mean, it's actually pretty easy, right? I mean, 6-4-3, for example, and that's still.
Yeah, but it's gonna. And I was trying to get at that it's gonna be
at a 7-6. Yeah, I imagine that.
Yeah. And there it is, clinical returning from Keys, and it's 3-love.
Yeah, it was interesting also to note the frustration of Bencic when, like, after the missed first serve, she's already like her racket is on the floor. But I guess it was justified, you know. Madison Keys just slaps that return, and well, she's 2 breaks up. She's had some pretty crazy twists and turns both ways in her matches this week, Madison Keys. Well, maybe she can just front run with the lead this time, at least in the opening set. Also, Siniakova and Townsend are set down. That might be their first loss of the season. Madison Keys has 1 loss this season, but it is still just that 1 loss to Clara Towson.
Clara Towson. Would it be counted as an upset if Draper beat Shelton tonight? I don't think it counts as an upset. I just think
Draper is priced as a sizable favorite.
Yeah.
As a really sizable favorite, surprisingly sizable. Rune was a smaller favorite against Griekspoor than Draper is against Shelton, according to the odds. I think that's BS, but
yeah, no, I agree. Actually, I would probably have Rune Griekspoor around like 60. If we're going off the same, I think we're going off 68% probability that Rune would have beat Griekspoor, and Draper's maybe 55, 56.
Yeah, Draper is very high in like ELO ratings and stuff like that. I think like statistical models tend to be very good for him at the moment. So perhaps that's why the odds are like that. But yeah, for me, it's just a little closer than it is. And the market. Mm-hmm.
Do you still have Draper winning?
There's no real favorite in it for me. I mean, it's also States, Shelton, big stage, There's some factors like that. I don't think they're like that different. Obviously, Jack has a higher floor, not as explosive. Pretty similar, all in all.
I do love how it feels like whenever I talk to you about any match, it's rare that I get like a real emotion out of you about one person or the other.
I mean, that's just how I am, The more I watch tennis, the more I realize that should be the case, because, well, there's also this motto that I guess I can say I kind of try to live, according to, and that is, I know that I know nothing.
Well, there you go. Very good defense from Keys, but it's well dealt with by Bencic.
I'm forgetting about the high bounce on this surface, as in with what? I don't think Shelton minds the high bounce.
I think he's talking about the Shelton kick serve, or
Oh, I thought that was supposed to be an argument in favor of Draper.
I don't know.
Which actually kind of very nicely shows that, you know, it's not really an argument either way. Like they can both use it to their advantage. I am a subscriber to the Ben Shelton is very okay on clay theory, just as I am to Jack Draper is very okay on clay theory. So on this clayish hardcourt, I think they're both fine.
2 break points for Bencic, one saved by a very nice Keys backhand. And I assume something else has happened that Damien hasn't told me yet.
You know what is funny? No, something else? No.
Oh, yeah. Nice again on the backhand side from Keys. Too big.
Yeah, I was just laughing because literally the sentences that you said there, you could just repeat it for the next point. And basically it was just the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's some unreal hitting from Madison so far. Obviously, the confidence should be at an all-time high. I was also talking about this with John on some like one of the previews we did, but I mean, when you've won the Australian Open, if you're Madison Keys, and you know this was the one thing that over the course of your career everybody was saying, you have to do this, you have to win a slam. Now that you've won it, like when does the pressure kick in again? Especially now that, you know, she's also taken that long break in February, and I think the pressure would kick in when she wins the French as well, and then you have the calendar Grand Slam in mind.
She gonna do the career slam? Well, no, in 1 year.
Career and calendar in the same year.
Career and calendar in the same year. That'd be crazy. Only person ever in the history of tennis.
And Nurlan, to your question about Andreeva, I think Jake is right that, you know, it's already improving. She's not going to be Elena Rybakina, but that she doesn't, you know, she shouldn't be. She's got other strengths and natural qualities, but yeah, I think it is improving already in this department you mentioned, and she's definitely been using it a little bit more aggressively.
And Shelton's serve will be the difference tonight. Maybe, but I don't think so. Does anyone else feel, as in Damien and the chat, that the speed gun at Indian Wells is extra sensitive for the serve?
You mean that it's showing more than it should?
Shelton hit a 151 the other day.
Yeah.
And he might have done, but what's the fastest serve on record?
263 in kilometers. I don't know how fast it is in miles, to be honest. But 263 Sam Groff at the Busan Challenger. But actually Busan? No, maybe not Busan. Anyway, at a Challenger. What I was trying to say is that Shelton was also hitting 150-ish at the US Open a few times. So
was he? I thought his biggest serve was 146.
I said 150-ish, thinking of like 149, but I do think he was probably around 149 is actually 2023. But yeah, 150 miles is his fastest, apparently. 150. Although, yeah, that 263 was also 163 in miles. But I'm just reading something about a 153 from Shelton. Anyway, confirmed is that this one is probably the fastest that he's hit, like 150. But yeah, 149 at the US Open definitely a couple of years ago. So I don't think it's
Okay,
completely
it's not too fast
unrealistic.
then. Then that's on me. Keys holds saving 2 break points with just some huge striking, to be honest. Just not missing anything.
Yeah, that's still seven miles to the official record of John Isner, and 13 miles to the unofficial one, which was Busan, by the way. I was not wrong there, with Sam Groff. Okay. I mean,
I'm not.
It's not like Jack is like, Sara Errani.
Yeah.
And also Ben isn't Iga Świątek, which is as important here, in the sense that like they're not going to be breaking each other that easily.
Shelton has the fastest serve. Would you say the fastest serve on tour? But it's not the most effective on tour, I don't think.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Belinda Bencic, I mean, we might be in like bagel territory here.
Breadstick, at least, I'm thinking right here. Bakery is very close to opening.
Okay. I'm just gonna get some water. I need to cool down after watching what I just watched.
I'm guessing this is going to be something either amazing from Keys or poor from Bencic. That is big. That is pretty big from Keys. 2 more break points to make it 5-love. I mean, that forehand is just massive.
She was actually struggling in the last 2 rounds, right? I mean, well, obviously, even if it would be a bagel here, I still haven't seen if it will be or not. I mean, it's not the end of the match.
No,
by far. But yeah, that is pretty scary.
For all we know, Bencic could bagel Keys in set 2.
Yeah, WTA, classic bagel reversal.
You have a question to answer, Damien.
Oh, yes. I'm coming. Can I add more spin to my table tennis? What?
Do you not understand?
Not really, to be honest.
Watanuki brought out a Pepsi mid-match, mid-second. Well, it was Tiafoe was serving 5-4 for the second set. Watanuki asked for a Pepsi. They brought it out to him. He started drinking the Pepsi, and then his forehand quality and his average revolutions that he got on his forehand went up.
Okay.
And he his forehand started hitting a lot better, and he started making balls. And then he won, obviously, the second set. So Ozan is saying, could you add more?
I wasn't aware that was stat. I did watch the match. That was like super late in the morning though for me, so maybe I was just like sleepwalking through it. But yeah, I wasn't aware that was a stat. Can I add more spin to my table tennis game just by drinking Pepsi? I mean, I'd love to, Ozan. But no, I think that ship has sailed. I think I just have to make do with what I have, and yeah. Basically, try to get, I don't know, faster, fitter, because technically I will never be better from here. Am I
all in the
staying up for
wrist.
Fonseca in Phoenix? Depends. If this much Bencic keys is pretty long, then maybe. But I might skip it. Well, this match so far is definitely not too long. I mean, Bencic hitting the double fault in the previous game. Now Madison Keys is serving for a bagel.
We haven't hit half an hour yet. We are rapidly moving through this first set.
Maybe the spin only works if you drink regular Pepsi. The sugar has to be in there.
Maybe. Well, you won't know until you try it. Next time you play, just take a Pepsi, buy a Pepsi, and just drink some afterwards.
I don't know if it's actually true as well, but someone told me that Pepsi changed their ingredients recently, and that it's now half sugar, half sweeteners. I haven't.
I'm not that
verified
up to date with Pepsi's ingredient list.
Yeah, me neither.
I wonder if this is a bagel, our producer can bring up the Pepsi ingredient list between sets.
Definitely. But Madison Keys is also kind of trying not to give Belinda that bagel. Yeah, Nurlan, you do actually tweet. You just repost stuff with cats. Nurlan is a very worthy follow. I don't know if you follow him, Fergus, but you definitely should.
I actually don't follow Nurlan, no.
100% you should. Place for the cat memes on the internet. But yeah, 2 wild unforced errors from Madison here, double fault, and Belinda Bencic has a shot to avoid the bagel. Will Belinda be like carbohydrates? Nah.
Neither of them are serving that well. I mean, their serve stats aren't well. They're a lot better than what they were. Keys now winning 67% of her first serve. Bencic winning 50%. I mean, Keys was at 44%, so that's obviously better. But yeah, and there it is. It's a game on the board for Bencic. 5-1 in this first set.
Yeah, Ozan, thanks for sending me that. Yeah, I didn't actually see that. Maybe I was just because this seems like a tennis channel feed, right? So I think I was just watching a different one. So that's why I didn't see it. Also Bordeaux, Jake, probably not. I'll just go to Estoril in the first Challenger 175 week. And the second one, I'll probably be home.
Double fault to start things off. For Bencic, Damien's seen a point in front of me, so could be that she's already loved 30, but Bencic not helping herself with her serve at the moment. It's too big from Keys. It's really, really too big.
How the hell did the king win a set today? King Kenny. No, that was super close actually, King. Yeah. Had breakpoints at 4-all in the third. And very aggressive forehand approach. He just narrowly missed on one of them. Martineau was kind of flopping too. Yeah, it's a shame that from 6-2 in the breaker, he only got to 6-5 and then lost. Maybe it could have been a marvelous comeback there at that favorite venue of his. But yeah, I mean, this was way more impressive than the Durasovic win, to be honest. So somehow at 48 years of age, Kenny the Shepherd was actually playing pretty well. Well, looks like
Keys.
we might still be in bakery territory, though. Not a bagel, but that's a pretty crazy way to save a set point here from Bencic. I mean, I don't know what her
Whoa,
intention
yeah.
was with that shot. Yeah, like,
Wow.
I based on her reaction, I don't think she necessarily thought that this was going to be a drop shot, but who cares?
It's a great drop shot.
Unexpected to say the least. One thing is not changing though over the last few games, and that one thing is Belinda Bencic serve getting like obliterated here by Madison Keys.
Game and first set, Keys pretty easily a breadstick is what is put in the oven and handed to Belinda Bencic.
Pretty sure that return must have been faster than the serve.
Yeah, I actually think it probably was.
17 winners to 12 unforced errors for Keys. 33-20 in terms of the points. Yeah, I mean, that was a ridiculous set of tennis. Now she needs to keep it up.
Bencic only winning 44% of her first serves. I mean, it's not great.
I mean, you know, that's just how Keys is smashing her serve. It's not like Bencic can serve that much better, I'd say.
Who's a bigger Eager fan, Damien or Nick? Nick, definitely.
I mean, obviously Nick, yeah.
I don't think that's a real question, to be honest. So it's Andreeva, Swiatek, and then probably prediction-wise, it's probably Bencic, Sabalenka. That's a very strong lineup. If we take Swiatek, what I think it'll probably be it's Andreeva Swiatek, isn't it, in the semi-final?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I reckon it'll probably be Sabalenka, Keys in the other semi-final. If you get Swiatek not playing first on court one, and you get her playing even an afternoon or a night match, then Andreeva will win. If Swiatek does get what she wants, which is first on court one, then Swiatek will win, because like it's just what she does. She loves to just win like 2 and 3 in like an hour and 2 minutes, and then go off and spend the rest of her days doing whatever. But she is supremely efficient, which again, as she won 3 and 3 over Zheng today.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the final is the problem for Keys, but more so than the semi, just because Andreeva, I don't know, brings, you know, some sort of unknown quality, at least a different set of skills than what she's gonna have to come up against until then. Or Swiatek, who's simply like untouchable in Indian Wells, more or less. But I mean, if anyone can do it, maybe it's actually Madison, who of course already beat her this year. And well, maybe for her, the conditions don't really matter that much. That is Keen a Celtic jersey, yes. There's nothing on it. You know, on the back of it, there's nothing. But yes, it is. I was just yeah, I just have it for whatever reason. Also, Keen, I think maybe you would be a bit different on that argument with JP Smith if you remembered more of his singles prime. He was not that bad.
Do you have Swiatek winning Indian Wells?
It's kind of very similar to that question of where was it? Who is a bigger Iga fan, DK or Nick? I don't think it's a real question, to be honest. I mean, yeah. You can't really go against Iga and Carlos in Indian Wells at the moment, but finally we're getting some really tough competition for Swiatek as well at this event. So, well, she's gonna have to kind of like show that she can maintain that status, and I think we might be off the stream soon, based on that what I just saw on my camera, and that was rain.
It's
But
not
let's see.
what we want. It's not what we want. It looks super sunny.
It looks super sunny, but there
But
was
it's
this one
raining.
frame where it was
Yeah.
raining. Yeah, obviously
Yeah,
that means there will be a rainbow probably, but that's not really.
Anyone want to guess how long it takes for the producers, not of Talking Tennis, but of the Indian Wells Sky Sports channel, cut to a rainbow? Because it will definitely happen. Although it looks like the sun is like super nice.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yet it still looks like it's raining. No thoughts from Keys about stopping because of rain, as Keys just clearly just doesn't care and is getting on with it. Bencic is a little less keen to get on
no
with
one
it.
has raised anything. It's so weird. I mean, it
was
doesn't look
definite
like
rain.
it's raining at all, but there was that one frame where definitely there were some drops.
100%.
I don't know. Hopefully they just keep playing. Going too deep into the night wouldn't be.
Andreeva, John, as producer, and it looks as though Keys will be playing someone. But no, that's the Medvedev Greek Spore.
Ozan,
Rune, not Greek Spore. Sorry, I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, Rune. I'm not a fan of any football club. Sorry. I used to be an Olympic Lyon 2000s fanatic, but that ended very quickly. Yeah, I mean we have both semis. I mean we have two semis set. Yeah.
Yeah. Ozan, no, we won't.
Jesus.
I'm gonna say that now.
I wish Ghosty was here because he would definitely be laughing at that comment from Keen. Ghosty basically always says whenever Keen brings up these random challenger players, Ghosty just laughs that he's just making these names up. I mean the best one is probably Rybakov or Glinka, Keen. I think that Jupovic and Roka Bataya, both of which you misspelled, are definitely at the lower couple, let's say. But yeah, Roka Bataya the worst. I don't know if Rybakov or Glinka. Kind of tempted to say Glinka, but it's like flatter, more inconsistent.
Are these guys that all play at this current moment? Because I'm not going to lie to you, I've never heard of any of these guys.
Sorry, come again?
Are any of these guys still active? Because I genuinely have never.
Oh yeah, all of them are active. Glinka just defeated Striker in a 25k final last week. Rybakov is playing an M15 in Montreal this week, I think. Roka Bataya probably a challenger somewhere, although actually maybe not because he only plays on clay. Really, or yeah, I think he was playing in Kigali, the altitude events in Rwanda just last weeks. I don't know what Ayupovic is doing at the moment, but he's like 30 and yeah, mostly on the ITF tour now. So, but yeah, all of them are still active.
Yeah, there's an M15 that's that M15 is in Montreal. Yeah. Hello, Ashley. I just think Medvedev's gonna have the same issue with Alcaraz if he gets to the final.
Yeah.
I think Medvedev does beat Rune, and then I think Medvedev loses to Alcaraz in the final.
Yeah, Ozan Aiden Mayo does the same, but I do think Rybakov's one-hander in rallies is okay. Yeah, I don't think Medvedev has any shot really. If it's Alcaraz in the final, it might very well be just another Medvedev Alcaraz final. 3 times in a row, and 3 times in a row a similar story.
Which I don't think many people would have predicted if it does get to that point. I don't think, especially with the form Medvedev was in coming into Indian Wells, I don't think many people saw Medvedev as a finalist.
Well, he also has to beat Holger Rune.
True.
And well, I guess based on what we've been watching so far, I mean, Rune is better, like smarter than Fields. Rune is more complete than Fields. There's a lot that you can kind of like try to expose in Medvedev's game at the moment, or on these courts. Kind of have to like his chances, but it was similar in the Rome final that they played, I guess, and that was of course won by Danil. Fergus, you have a challenge from Nurlan.
I'm not going to even touch that. I'm not going to go there. Key's serve's just too big for Bencic when first serve's landed. She can't get enough of a return on to put Keys under any sort of pressure. She's just waiting for the Keys error.
Yeah, the serve return battle has been very much with Madison so far. Although, of course, we are still on serve in the second set at least. Scott Parker, honestly, nothing. I mean, I really don't know what to tell you. Good serve, especially. But yeah, then he like tries to play pretty generic baseline aggressive. Well, maybe not baseline, but generic aggressive tennis, I'd say. Yeah, that was a rough volley that Madison just bricked into the net. But still 40-30 for her.
I love
Scott
how people just
Stewart, I never know. Scott, I think. Yeah, never mind.
I love how people just throw random names at you, and you like they're almost trying to test if you know them or not, but like know if you've watched them, their ability.
No, I mean he knows that I've watched Parker because Parker, I mean, he was in the Chersonissos final on Sunday. So that's why Keen is asking about him. He also won the Non-Taburi Challenger in 2022 in September.
Keys is running off. Do you mean Stuart Parker?
Yeah, it's Stuart. But
yeah, sorry, Stuart, yeah, because I was about to say it's Stuart Parker, not Scott Parker.
Yeah, Scott Parker is a footballer, and I don't know if Keen did this on purpose or not. But I always mix it up. I always say on the Challenger show, I always say Scott or Stuart Parker. I don't know. I mean, one of them.
Because I was about to say, like, it's definitely because you said made the final last Sunday, and I was about to say I watched the final, and his name's not Scott, it's Stuart. I know,
I always mix it up because obviously, like the footballer is very much ingrained in my head since when I was a kid. So I never remember if it's Scott or Stuart. I mean, Ozan, you would have to go kind of a bit further down the rankings than this, right? I mean, Melanie Odin once was a pretty popular player. So not really, and not that I know anything about her game. I mean, 2010-ish women's players. No, I'm not. I'm only really gonna know their names. Do we think Iga has this tourney in the bag? Who do you think can challenge her? I mean, there's a lot of players left that can challenge her. Sabalenka, Keys, Andreeva. All of these, really. but she is the favorite.
I actually think I do think that Keys actually has a chance to beat Fiontek if if the final is Keys Fiontek. I think it'll be really close, a 3-setter maybe. But I still
How about
give
tomorrow
the edge.
then? No faith in Andreeva. She did beat her in Dubai.
It's not that I don't have faith in Andreeva. I think Andreeva will push Fiontek, but I just think Fiontek will come out on top, like 4-6.
I like how you said that, like you can't get me to give you a prediction, one name or something like that, and you're basically here just giving us correct scores for everything. So yeah, it's a good contrast.
I have to fill in the gaps because you just
exactly. I mean,
you give us next to nothing.
Counterbalance me
Yeah,
sitting here and saying that, well, just basically hedging all the time.
Saying if I give you a prediction, maybe this, maybe that.
So you can't mimic Prince William, but you do a pretty good impression of me. So that's okay.
That's because you know what? I'm not gonna go there. The Bencic, as I dropped in, yes, I believe it has. The Bencic serve is there's nothing behind it.
But isn't that always the case?
I don't think that was the case for her
I
last.
mean, not nothing maybe, but I think most players just don't make it look like this, I
mean, I'm tempted to see a speed gun. I think, okay, that was 102 mile an hour. So that's not, I mean, it's definitely not nothing, but Keys is kind of just putting these away like it's like coming with pretty much nothing on it. Oh,
yeah, it's just like swatting flies, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ridiculous angle. No, I don't know who Lee Childs is. In terms of Damien's experience and breadth of knowledge, I am far superior.
Lee Childs? That's a tennis player? I thought that was like a book author or something like that. But I don't know. Any update on the Gonzalo Oliveira case? I don't think so, not yet. The producer thought that Mirra was a bigger threat than Madison. Yeah, I think it's nice that like both of them, I think maybe they are even bigger threats than Sabalenka, and they are like, they're going to play Iga completely different. And that could be very fun if we get both of these matches. Of course, we are kind of writing off Belinda Bencic here, which you might have noticed, guys, by now. But well, it's not looking that great for her at the moment, even though she is actually close to getting out of this game, which featured like 2 return winners for Keys again.
Cyan, I'm not falling for that. That's a terrible joke. And Ozan, I was actually -2 years old when that match took place, so I think I doubt I'm gonna be able to know who Lee Childs is.
And I was thinking of Lee Child, not Lee Childs, as it turns out. But apparently that's a British like mystery novel author. Would doubles completely die if players could only enter doubles or singles at an event where it could work? Or could only enter doubles or singles? No, I don't think it would die. I think it would be just as relevant as it is right now.
Ashley, this will be her 16th match in a row if she does come through. And our producer has just asked me a really scary question because I live about 15 minutes from there. I know people that live in that village, which is really scary that you've just said that, but that's okay. How have you just plucked that village out of a hat? Is there something behind me that you've like pixelated, zoomed in on, and found? Anyway, Bencic still trying to fight off keys in this game.
Yes, it is
Win.
Celtic, John. I mean,
So,
no football
another-
team. My mother probably got it for me, just like all my clothes. So
Just the most classic Damien response ever.
yeah, I'm not gonna repeat my famous quote about clothes. Yeah, we already covered that with Keen, John, on the sorry,
Too
the
good.
producer.
He's breaks again, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, the nerves were quite palpable on that second serve from Bencic when she was game point up. And now she's like, she was in trouble before. Now she's almost one leg out of the event. Nurlan had an interesting question too. Which one is more fun, doing a barbecue in nature with friends or going to the beach? I would say you can also try to do a barbecue on the beach. And that could be a very good combo. I've done that before and it was good. But if I was gonna choose one thing, probably I would go barbecue. I don't think the beach is particularly interesting. I didn't watch it, Ashley. I don't know about you, Fergus. The Roddick interview.
I
with
haven't
Rafa.
seen it. No. I have not seen it.
Yeah, me neither. Jesus. The
Yeah.
producer fanboying hides there in the chat. Do I think I could be in a relationship with someone if the only language we had in common was the language of love? Probably not. I mean, I don't know. We have some good new technologies coming in, but I do think connection on a personal level is only possible for me if we are exchanging words and thoughts and convictions and stuff. I think maybe for some people it would be possible, particularly in my model of a relationship. I don't think that's really possible without that sort of understanding for each other. So I would say no, but maybe with some new technologies it can become possible.
That wasn't. Well, I mean, that's a great kick serve from Keys. And that's a great answer to that question, Damien. That's the most in-depth I think you've answered a question today.
Yeah, I mean, tennis, I'm going to be hedging. But if you go personal, I'm just blunt.
You're there. You're there straight away. Keys holds with two massive kick serves, to be honest. And it's 4-1 in this second set. Damien, what do you think Arthur Ferry's ceiling is?
I was hoping top 100. I was starting to lose faith a little. He's been injured a ton, but he is very strong indoors. So yeah, like if he maximizes the indoor season 1 year, why not? Top 100 is possible. I do think. Yeah, I don't know. I have a soft spot for his game for sure.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Would love to see him win Cherbourg this week. We'll see if that's
I
possible.
watched his match earlier today.
I mean, that was not too much of an encounter, but tomorrow an interesting story, I guess, because the only player he's lost to this year, Patrick Zahra, is playing him again. Should probably be more interesting than this Bencic Keys match thus far. I mean, almost an hour on the clock, and I feel like I've mostly seen Madison Keys hit return winners, which is exciting. Also, I've seen Madison Keys hit some good serves, and I feel like I've mostly seen that. So serve and return, really, and yeah, that's been a big discrepancy.
Damien, as always, thrilled to be doing this. He's his love for this matchup between Belinda Bencic and Madison Keys is truly something to behold. Do not lose faith. Very top 50 potential. I don't know about top 50. I was thinking you were going to say more 1-2-5, but
he's pretty small, but tries to play an aggressive game. Kind of has to like figure stuff out because of that.
Yeah.
But obviously great hands. Backhand down the line is beautiful. I don't know. Hopefully it can lead to something. Right now, I mean, health is the priority, I guess. I mean, that's
yeah. Is he 23?
More or less, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, should be more or less right after his Stanford career.
What you're gonna have to remind me. Goffin's highest ranking is 8, 7,
7, I think, but
yeah,
I might be one off. I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure it's 7.
Yeah. I mean, this returning from Keys. I mean, it's coming back before Bencic has actually managed to stand up straight from the serve. So
that's obviously another return that Keys obliterates. The producer, you should be aware that Goffin was number 7 because he made the ATP finals, defeated a certain Spaniard in there, and also made the final of that ATP finals, as horrible as that sounds. And yeah, he was number 7 more or less at that time. Well, bakery product in the opening set. We are getting close to another one, maybe. Let's see.
Maybe this calendar slam is on, and we
maybe
just
she's
don't
not
know
going to be
yet.
beaten the entire season, right?
Only by Clara Towson.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot about that. Yeah, sure.
This is her 16th win in a row. Yeah. For our producer. I mean, we're saying it like she won. Well, I mean, she has just broken and it's 5-1. So 2 breadsticks.
Towson loss, it just feels like it happened 2 years ago by now.
It does feel like a long, long time ago. And you know what? I doubt that Towson loss keeps Keys up at night. I really doubt it.
Yeah, she was probably like, oh, it's a shame that Clara lost to Mirra at this event. I wish I could have played her in the final and removed that one stain on my record. Probably not. But yeah, 6-1, 5-1. Now only that one final nail that Madison Keys has to put in this Belinda Bencic-sized coffin. We said that this was going to be a longer stream than Mickelson Medvedev, and that for sure is the case. But still, I mean, our expectations for this match so far have not been met.
How long was the Mickelson Medvedev game? 5 minutes? 6 minutes? Oh no, it was like 10 because Medvedev had
no, it was pretty long because of the nosebleed. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we switched to Popper and Giron, which was just all-time classic match. No, I'm not related. Yeah, that's straight up the tee for Keys' second ace of the match, and she's just 2 points away now from 2 breadsticks. Maybe Bencic kind of gave everything in that golf match, but I just feel like Keys had just too much in the tank and on the ground. Damien, do you prefer to hit your backhand or your forehand?
I've spoken to Keen about it before, and the thing is, like, I think my forehand is the better shot, but it's also more volatile. Like, if I want to make sure on a comfortable ball that I'm gonna be in the court, I might go with the backhand. Just like if we're rallying, just like before the match, it's a warm up. I'm actually starting off my backhand. It's that there's less things that can break in there, and it's the same for me in tennis and table tennis, and for that reason, yeah. But like it's less potent, definitely.
Well, Keys makes light work of Bencic, 1-1 in just over an hour. Keys was just hammering the ball in all sorts of ways, and Bencic just couldn't keep up. The serve was very vulnerable today, and yeah, Keys took full advantage. I think that says that Bencic's first serve percent win is 45%, which is never going to be high enough. But nevertheless, still another fantastic week for Bencic on her comeback. I mean, it's incredible the progress that she's made since becoming a mum and 2.5 months back on tour, and she's already in the top 50. I believe she's now in the top 40 after this week. And, you know, she'll go to Miami with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I mean, she's Bencic, obviously. The comeback has been incredible. The fact that she beat Golf yesterday, very also impressive in like the physical sense, because in Australia that was her undoing against Coco, and now she was ready for a long match. But today, yeah, her serve just got destroyed by someone who's even more confident than she is, and just winning left and right. I kind of like, in hindsight, obviously, and it's easy to say that in hindsight, but I am starting to like really enjoy this decision of Keys to, skip the whole February basically after the Australian Open. I know that she wanted to play Austin originally, so okay, if there wasn't that rule that only one top 10 player from the local country can play in WTA 250s, and Pegula wasn't ranked a little higher than her. Maybe should have played Austin, but anyway, to skip the Middle East swing, like some of it was very natural. I didn't think she was gonna show up like instantly, obviously in like Abu Dhabi or whatever, but I think a lot of players would have played Dubai, and I'm not saying it would have been a mistake either, but I just like that clearly she has managed to like recover physically, mentally. There's no first slam title hangover that a lot of players have, and she's just like ready to keep going and basically is able to reap the rewards for all that confidence.
Do either of you miss Yannick Sinner or not really? Not particularly. I think obviously adds a whole new dimension to the top of men's tennis, but it's just one big mess at the moment, this Sinner stuff. So, we'll be ready for when he comes back in May.
Remember what Emma Raducanu said about Andy Murray last year when she was asked when he retired, and it was like 3 weeks later, and they asked her, are you missing him? Like, what's the tour like without Andy? And I think she was very right to say that the tour is way bigger than any one player. There's just way too much action for me to like stop and think, oh, Yannick is out. I mean, yeah, there's just too much going on. that's the reality, and it's not a dig at Sinner. It would be like this for me, at least, with pretty much any player on tour. What type of player was Fratangelo? Great topspin forehand, very intelligent. Clay, actually very good for an American, for sure. 99, I think, was a solid career high for his game. Maybe could have been a little bit longer in the top 100, but like, yeah, low top 100. That was a good career. I definitely was an enjoyer of his tennis, and I'm glad to see him also be great in another role now. Obviously, after the Australian Open title win, I did kind of like give him some of the spotlight in a tweet, and I felt like gotta do it as that's someone I was watching a ton the last decade or so, and it's just awesome to see him do something else and succeed in it as well. Any major differences in the games of Humbert, Draper, Shelton? I mean, they're all very different, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like that's a bit of a question. They're all hugely different. Shelton's serve's obviously a lot bigger. I still think the Shelton backhand's quite questionable, especially on consistency. I think that both Draper and Shelton have bigger weapons than Humbert. I think Draper's backhand is considerably more solid than both Shelton and Humbert. I think there are lots of differences. The list goes on and on, to be honest.
Damien, I think that I can see the lineage there, though, Damien, right?
The lineage of what? The leftiness?
There, for example, the serve.
Decent serves. Yeah. All of them decent servers, all of them lefties, but
there's a lineage.
I'm not relatively aggressive. I mean, Draper is the one where like he's not as much of an all-out attacker as Shelton and Humbert. But
Draper, Shelton's more fun. But there's a lineage. When we were talking about Shelton and Draper earlier, I was thinking, there's a lot of similarity. They're different in many ways.
No, honestly, it's just lefty and lefty. I don't think there's that much.
Age, bursting on the scene.
Age, sure. Yeah, age ranking. Yeah, I mean, if we kind of step away from the game, but yeah, Humbert also. I mean, he hits so much flatter. He takes the ball so much earlier. Shelton and Draper definitely more like top spin users on the forehands.
Okay. We have 2 semi-finals set, if I've got my maths right. Almost 3. In fact, we've got 3 of the women's semi-finalists set, as opposed to just 2, I think, on the men's side. Iga Swiatek, Mira Andreeva. Iga obviously winning her match earlier today, 6-3, 6-3. I think I predicted 6-3, 6-4. Just sort of casually going, I think it'll be closer than any of her previous matches, but I still think she'll get it done in straight sets. That turned out to be the case. Did either of you catch any of Iga's match earlier, by the way?
I caught a tiny bit, not that much. I wasn't to be honest, I didn't tune in plainly because I knew that Iga would get it done, and I didn't see an entirety of me thinking, oh, this is going to be really close. Especially with the way that Zheng's been playing this season. She's been not at her best. So you take how Iga's been playing this week, and I just thought it wouldn't be too much of a struggle for Iga. But yeah, I think Iga just loves these courts so much that it's going to be tough to stop her. But obviously, Andreeva is a different challenge altogether from Zheng.
It is.
Yeah, it was like 6-3 for 1 when I finished my practice, so I didn't bother to turn on the stream at all.
Yeah, I think there was actually a Kinwin break, if I'm right. Actually, you had to get one of those. But she went down a double break, and then I think she got one of them back. I think I even wrote in the chat just now. Basically, it's been a bit of a theme this week with a few sort of meaningless breaks, and that was probably one of them. And in fact, I think Kinwen there wasn't able to hold serve to at least get it to 4 and make Iga serve it out. Anyway, honing in on this match in particular. Iga Swiatek, Mira Andreeva head to head. Somebody either interrupt me and tell me what it is, or I
Yeah,
will
it's
do
just 1-1. I mean,
1-1. Right. Okay. I remember they had one in Cincinnati last year. Am I right? Where Iga won that
yeah,
one super, super tight.
that's the tougher one to remember, actually.
Oh, well, of course. Yeah, I guess so, because
Yeah.
in terms of recency, but actually, funny enough, I remember that one, yeah, reasonably clearly. But yeah, there was obviously one more recent than that. Damien, give me your thoughts on those two previous encounters.
I mean, it's been tough. Obviously, much faster conditions. Cincinnati and Dubai, both. Cincinnati, especially, just felt like Swiatek was. I mean, she's always off with her timing there. Dubai, actually, going into the semis, though, she was playing pretty well. And then Andreeva happens, and I don't know, she's just so tough. She basically makes Iga struggle in every single game on serve. She gets 3 points herself. She's such a good defender. She responds as well. She's like aggressive for her standards in that match, putting a lot of pressure on. Could be a bit tougher in Indian Wells, but she hasn't really struggled so far in any matchup really. Whether it's like Svitolina and it's more of a chess match, or it's Rybakina Tauson who just try to attack her, and yeah, Andreeva plays like she has 350 IQ. So it's the toughest match that Iga has had so far. It's the toughest match that Iga has had in Indian Wells since Rybakina in 23.
I was thinking to say, is it the
And
toughest match she potentially has for a couple of years? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, 24 was, yeah. I mean, the draw just blew up. Of course, Iga was good enough on these courts to like take advantage anyway, even if it was a Sabalenka in the final and I don't know, a Goff in the semis. I don't remember how the draw was constructed exactly. But yeah, now we actually have some question marks. Now we haven't had a title, we haven't had a final from Iga, at least in an individual event in forever. And yeah, I know. I'm referencing a chat we had earlier about whether the United Cup is a final for Swiatek or not. And it sorta is in this very case, but that's why I said individual event. So yeah, now we actually have some doubts, and Andreeva is playing so well that she's also obviously instilling them.
She's going to be sort of a new member of a big three, big four, whatever it happens to be at the time. Fergus, I think you were doing at least some of the commentary for Andreeva's win over Rebecca the other day. And I heard you guys sort of talking about big moments, big points. There was an early break for Rebecca, and I think at the beginning of the second set in that particular encounter. But actually, it felt like the biggest moment was the first game, I think, when Andreeva broke. Certainly on the Rebecca and the serve. And I just thought there never felt any danger for Andreeva for the rest of the match. I don't know about, excuse me, not about today, but what do you think about Andreeva and Swiatek?
Yeah, it's tough. When Andreeva Rybakina was a really strange match. Rybakina missed a lot, but Andreeva put her into those positions. She was pulling her from side to side, and Rybakina is strongest shot is her backhand. I mean, it's super flat. She loves to put it cross court and out the reach of for opponents. But she was being outdone on that wing by Andreeva hugely. Andreeva was pulling her from side to side, and I just think on that day especially she looked kind of untouchable. And Damien mentioned how good of a defender Andreeva is, and you look at how good of a defender Swiatek is. She's arguably the best defender on tour, and I just think that when Swiatek comes up against someone similar sort of defensive qualities, great backhand, obviously monster forehand as well, I think it's gonna be tight. I think whoever lands more first serves will probably have the edge. I think it will go 3, but I think both their returning games are just so good that it's going to come down to who lands more first serves. But yeah, it's going to be tough.
I'm still going to lean Iga. Damien?
Yeah.
Same, Fergus?
I'm going to lean Iga in 3.
Okay,
I
cool.
like the voice for that last comment.
My voice or Fergus's?
No, yours. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, mine's almost going. I had suddenly a coughing fit, which fortunately, at least on here, I can put the mute button on for. But no, I am leaning Iga just because it's Iga, it's Indian Wells. I think it's gonna get a sort of a ring to it in many ways, like Iga and Roland Garros, and maybe further down the line, like Rafa and Roland Garros, or maybe even Roger and Wimbledon until what year were we thinking, Damien, when Roger's sort of aura Wimbledon started to get shattered by Novak 2011, 2013?
Novak, not really, right? I mean, Novak didn't beat him until 14. So,
but Novak winning 2 or 3 Wimbledon starts to...
Yeah, I mean, Wimbledon is probably just not the best example, I guess.
What's Roger's backyard then? Basel?
Yeah, Basel, Dubai, Halle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Halle. Yeah.
You have to remember you're talking to the tennis hedger right now, who just will dodge around every single question you could possibly give him and not give you a straight answer.
Except one.
Ashley, by the way, yeah, the courts are not much faster, not at all. Seems like the conditions have not changed too much, despite the change in the manufacturer of the courts.
And very relevant because it's why if they were sort of significantly different, Ashley, I think we would be talking about a different path to the semi-final for Iga Swiatek, and also having a different perspective on her winning the tournament right now. If Damien and Fergus, both of you, I'll begin with Damien. If at the beginning of the tournament I posited that I would probably just about take the field over Iga because of those core on surface changes as well, what are we now looking at? Iga or the field? So we're looking at 3 semi-finalists ultimately, either Sabalenka or Samsonova.
The one counter argument to this is that before the event, we didn't know that all of these big names were going to make it.
True.
And they are here. Like, it's not going to be Kostyuk and was it last year Sakari? Yeah, it's not going to be Kostyuk and Sakari in the final, which is pretty big, actually.
Yeah, it is. But you'd still say, look, she's in the semi-finals. It's different to where we were 9 days ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's going to be the favorite in all the matches she plays, but yeah, it might be reasonably marginal for her Indian Wells standards.
So, Fergus, you're going to have Iga winning this in 3. That makes sense. She's a marginal, or a bit more than marginal favorite. But if I said to you, Iga or the field, what would you take right now?
I'd still lean... Actually, no, just to play devil's advocate against the tennis hedger, I'm going to say the field. Plainly because I think someone, whether it's Keys or Sabalenka or Samsonova or Andreeva, I think there is someone that can maybe stop Swiatek. I don't know who it is, but someone is going to... It might be that someone just has a really on day, and I mean, it's obviously rare, but Iga has an off day in Indian Wells and just misses a couple of balls, and maybe Keys. I mean, the way that Keys was obviously the Bencic serve wasn't at her strongest today, but the Keys returning was superb, and the way she seems to be missing next to nothing at the moment, even in points that she looks like she's completely out of, she somehow turns around and wins. So maybe Keys can turn around.
Also worth mentioning that Świątek basically has an on day every day, at least as long as she's in her kit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think when Iga loses, I mean,
Iga only loses at night.
In the last 18 months, she seems to have more on days than off. Anyway, all right.
I don't think you got it, but that's
no,
good.
I think I missed it. There was an. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Damien, you've plunged to new depths now. Just when I didn't think it was possible to go any lower with your puns, you've done yourself proud.
Oh, I've just actually realised what you just said. Damien, that's so bad. Damien, that's so bad.
Let's all take a pause. You could almost say a minute's silence for that one.
I had fun with it. I'm still laughing.
No one else did. No one else did. Only you did.
It's the most important. I mean, the most important thing with jokes is that you find them funny. So, like yourself, you should. Yes, because if you don't find your own jokes funny, no one else will.
You must be amazing at parties. I'm just gonna say
I'm pretty good.
He does blow out early.
Jokes.
You know, like an Iga Świątek opponent who's down a double break and just like going, "This is done." I have seen Damien get, pretty blown. As in, like, and I want to explain this to Fergus. As in, like, oh, cool, couple of friends are coming over. Let's have a few drinks. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Yeah, let's have a few drinks. Damien's there going, yeah, let's have a few drinks, and we'll go to the pub afterwards. 10 o'clock when we're about to go to the pub. Damien's like, I think I'm just gonna crash and burn.
Yeah.
Actually, that night you're referring to, I was not gonna go to the pub at all. Like that was not
okay. Fair enough. But you crashed and burned still.
But I did, yes, absolutely. You had this like large glass, and I kind of the portion control wasn't there. Let's just say that. But yeah, I actually it wasn't my intention ever to go to the
sure, but still crash and burn is very.
Oh yeah, 100%. I woke up at like 5 a.m. and I wasn't like I had no idea where I was.
I think you were flying the next day. I think.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. Yeah, that might have been our last day.
Anyway, not relevant to the Indian Wells semi-finals that are coming up, at least the ones set in stone. And the other one I want to talk about is Daniil Medvedev against Artur. No, Daniil Medvedev-Artur Fils has just happened. Daniil Medvedev against Holger Rune is about to happen in a couple of days from now. The reason why I've got Artur Fils on my mind is I was thinking, if someone said to me, John, from the 8 quarterfinals, which ones are you really like saying, this is going to happen? One was Medvedev beating Fils, and the other one was Alcaraz beating Cerundolo. Alcaraz-Cerundolo is still to come. However, Medvedev-Fils ended up being unbelievably tight. I don't know the nature of Medvedev's celebration, but I do know that it was a thing because Nick said, has anyone ever seen Medvedev celebrate? Go on, Fergus.
It was quite something. I don't think I've ever seen Medvedev celebrate like that ever.
Okay.
But it was bigger than when he won the US Open in 21.
Well,
I mean,
Medvedev enjoys lunch in a bigger way than he enjoyed that celebration. But
yeah, it's the first time I think it's been raw emotion.
Okay.
From Medvedev. Most of the time he's quite cool and he likes to dance a little when he wins big matches. But this time was genuine raw emotion. And I reckon if that's just been built up over the last couple of months from him winning, from him losing big matches and losing matches that he shouldn't have, and he sort of just had that built up and he's won a tight match and he just had to let a bit of emotion out, and he really did, and it was actually quite funny to watch. But I'm glad that that's actually the biggest show of emotion that I've ever seen on a court from Medvedev, apart from when he gets angry.
Yeah, positive emotion. But any thoughts, Damien, on his win over Fils, which was much tighter than I probably imagined it would be?
Yeah, I mean, Fils had a lot of right ideas, didn't fully execute them right in the final set breaker, but a lot of the kind of like usual Medvedev issues were very much there. But that's been the story of his last few years in Indian Wells, I guess. He's complaining about the courts, he's struggling to generate pace, and he's winning until he faces Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah.
Rune is an interesting proposition, though. Like, there's a lot of potential issues there with how smart and complete Holger is. As long as kind of he can keep his head in the game, yeah, that's gonna be pretty tricky. But we also said the same as I mentioned earlier during the stream. I mean, we said the same before the Rome final, right? And that was like, oh yeah, I mean, it's clay. I mean, this should be a win for Holger. He's got all the tools in his arsenal to trouble Medvedev on a court like this, and he didn't. So we'll see. But in a way, Rune is like a more tactically aware version of Fils maybe in this matchup. We'll see.
Yeah, slightly more. But I will also say that Rome final, I think there was a reasonably early break maybe for Daniel at the beginning of the second set. And Holger still should win that final. And Daniel Medvedev in most universes doesn't win that Rome title. But this is the universe in which he did. So he did, and that's fine. But yeah, I this is a really tough one to call, Fergus. I think Medvedev Rune.
Yeah, I'm leaning Medvedev. I think he's going to take a lot of confidence after that win against Fils. Rune has been playing brilliantly this week, and obviously last week. But I just feel as though Rune can be a little erratic, especially when it comes to playing someone like Medvedev. Obviously, Medvedev's a grinder, doesn't really go big on anything, loves to grind players down and then just take advantage of the shorter ball. But I feel as though Rune might push too much and it will become Medvedev. But I do think it'll be close, so I'm only just leaning Medvedev.
Damien, is Medvedev maybe... First of all, is he a grinder? And secondly, if he is he the most fun grinder on tour?
It's definitely one of the more unique grinders, if he is a grinder.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the uniqueness. I've never watched Medvedev going, this guy is a little dull to watch, whereas there are many others which are subjectively called grinders that are more dull, put it that way.
Yeah, but like if we are going to like put Daniel Medvedev and I don't know Roberto Carbaez Baena in the same category, it would be a very wide group of players, I suppose. Yeah. But yeah, I mean he is super unique, obviously, with how unorthodox his technique is, especially his playstyle as a whole. It's pretty wild actually that he's gotten to, as far as he did, and at the same time we still have all the regrets about his career and how insane it is that he's not a multiple slam champion. But at the same time, it's pretty insane he was a number one and a slam champion. So, yeah, I do think it's been a great experience watching him over the years. Brings up some very interesting matchups. Fils today, especially with all the incorporation of the slice from the second set onwards. I think it was just such an interesting balance he had to find between basically staying away from his usual game and making Medvedev play, but then also having to rely from time to time, of course, on his own serve and forehand. And for Rune, yeah, maybe he pushes too much, like Fergus said, or maybe he just plays, that 5 tennis IQ points better than Arthur did.
Damien, can Holger do some things to Daniel that we know can hurt Daniel? In other words, probably less so these days the slice, but certainly the serve and volley and other stuff. Has Holger got the game that we know 4, 5, 6, maybe a bit more than that actually, players on tour have to really bother Daniel?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, as I said, the same as before the Rome final, where we just said Holger basically has a lot of tactics like he uses usually, they are great against Medvedev. It didn't work out that day, but I guess there's no reason to think that that has to be the case again. I actually didn't remember they played an Indian Wells last year.
Yeah,
I
right.
remember
I was about
the
to say
win
that,
for
yeah.
Rune earlier in the event, right, against Fritz, where he saved a match point, but I didn't remember who
Yeah.
he lost to.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. I mean,
Super tight
slow
set.
conditions, slow conditions, slow conditions. The other matches, basically. Medvedev was like super dead in their first match when Rune beat him. That was after he defeated Zverev in that crazy encounter. I don't know. The head-to-head, I guess, doesn't really give you much confidence, but the overall set of skills that Rune has, that should.
Here's one thing, and it's for you both, which is a Rune Alcaraz final. Probably a lot of fun. And Medvedev, listen, this is not completely anti-Medvedev, Alcaraz, but it is a record we've heard before, both in Indian Wells and at Wimbledon, at least. I know two very different circumstances, but two circumstances where Alcaraz's tactics are not phenomenally different. I don't know. I just think a Rune Alcaraz final would be something fresh and something new and something we've probably been looking forward to in this scenario rather than, did they play at Wimbledon, Rune and Alcaraz?
Yeah.
18 months ago, and
yeah,
but basically they were both on a wonderful sort of trajectory in 2022, albeit Rune was slightly behind, but it was still fun and they were playing indoors and maybe that favored Rune a bit more. And then Alcaraz got injured in the Paris-Bercy quarterfinals. Am I right, Damien? I get these indoor tournaments confused, but I can just see Alcaraz getting some attention at a changeover just after a tie break, maybe, or just before a tie break, even.
Yeah, I think he retired in the breaker,
exactly,
didn't he?
Yeah. And it was like a really cool match, and we thought, that's great. We're going to get loads of these cool matches in the coming years. And Rune was going to be sort of heralded as part of this big three along with Yannick, and then, well, Rune has gone left, right, and centre, and sometimes up and sometimes down. And yet, yeah, there is a potential Rune Alcaraz final. I think that just feels... Yeah, let's start with you, Fergus. If it's a Rune Alcaraz final, that's a fun occasion, right?
Yes. But I would think it wouldn't be... I don't know. I just think...
I think Alcaraz wins, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a more unpredictable final. But unpredictable as in the route that Alcaraz takes to get there. I think that it's more likely that if Rune and Alcaraz play in the final, that Alcaraz kind of takes them apart like 3-2 than it is Medvedev. If the Medvedev final was, I think it'll probably be like 5-1 or 6-1 like it was last year. It's going to be, it'd definitely be interesting. If Rune was firing on all cylinders, then it would definitely be interesting. But I just don't think that Rune could match up to Alcaraz in Alcaraz's current state. And I think that it almost, as you say, Rune brings something different, but I almost think that with Alcaraz playing like he is, Medvedev also brings something different, as in not fighting fire with fire.
Damien, Holger is firing on all cylinders, isn't he?
Great match against Tsitsipas. I guess he is this event. I didn't watch the match against Kriegsport today.
No, I
so
didn't. But I
don't
know
really
I think there was a point in the second set when I saw Jose Morgado tweeted something like, wait, Holger's only lost 5 points all set. And I guess that was at the end of the set. So it was obviously...
Yeah, but that doesn't give me much. I was thinking you
No,
were going to say that he's like, well, I know how the second set transpired in terms of the points and the games. Okay. I don't know what actually happened there. Was someone unfit? Was someone, I don't know, killing the other? But anyway, what I was gonna say is that indeed that Rune Alcaraz final would be something fresh. I don't care if it's also pretty lopsided potentially. At least it's not like Medvedev Alcaraz where we've seen it. We know more or less how it will go. yeah, it would be this first, I've been waiting for that Grand Slam final between two of these three guys. Maybe an ATP 1000 final. I don't think we've gotten it either. So,
No.
yeah, that's a stepping stone. Now we've got Rune and Alcaraz battling in the Indian Wells final potentially. And then in in June or in July, maybe we can finally get that Alcaraz Sinner, Alcaraz Rune, or Sinner Rune final. It's one of the slams.
Rune winning a 1000 in 2022, aged 12 or whatever he was then, and not winning one for the next 3 years is a bit wild in a way. If the trajectory is all the way around and he was about to win a 1000, we would have, or had just won a 1000, we would think.
Well, he was about to in 23 in the spring.
Lost to Rublev, I know.
It was like destroyed physically the entire final in Monte Carlo. And then Rome, you're playing Medvedev in a clay ATP 1000 final. You probably should win.
He's not been in a final since that Rome final, 1000 final.
Surprisingly, he's actually made like back-to-back, no, not back-to-back, but he's made like two of the last three. I think he's made a semi yet because of Cincinnati and Paris, which I completely forgot. He also made the Bercy semis. So maybe things are improving a bit. And like, what else would be a fantastic sign that things are improving? Beating Alcaraz in an ATP 1000 final, right? I mean, it's for now. It's just it's probably not happening. But if he is to kind of like rejoin the trajectory that he was on,
I just saw something which said that Rune has made the semi-finals of each odd numbered slam.
No, please don't.
What?
Masters now, which kind of shows
it's a Vange tweet. It's a Vange tweet.
Yeah,
okay.
It is.
Oh,
so
man, what happened to that Twitter ban? What is this? I don't understand it, but I'm going to find out what it is.
So
basically, because we have 9 Masters in a season, right? So he's talking about number 1, 3, 5, 7.
Okay, who nobody. You always think in Rome, Madrid terms. You don't think of Madrid being the 4th or Rome being the 5th or whatever it is. By the way.
Indian Wells, Monte Carlo, Madrid,
Cincinnati and Paris.
And Paris.
Whereas he doesn't have that amazing results in Miami, Madrid.
That's the point that Vange is trying to get at.
Is it a tweet? Oh, I see. I've got it. Yeah. So Holger Rune has now made an ATP 1000. Indian Wells, Monte Carlo, Rome. Yeah, well, I'm sure that is what is really putting a smile on his face today as he heads to snooze land, as we all should.
On Vange's face, I'm sure. Like when he was posting this,
Vange is smiling about this more than Rune.
Yeah, I know. You're talking about Rune.
Yeah, but he's done it twice in Paris, as is indicated there. A nice little trophy to suggest that he won it in 2022. I don't think I've called this one yet. It's such a tricky one. Both in a way will be sort of that they're both back right now, but one of them won't be if they lose.
That is a Damien answer. You can't give it.
No, that isn't. I haven't finished. There's a ... there, Fergus. I am gonna finish it.
Actually, you'd give ... also after just like informative sentences, right? So
yeah, I do that too. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Holger Rune to make it 2 each. Yeah, he should win. That's the word that sort of comes to mind right now. Should. He should win. Doesn't mean he will.
I'm gonna give you an answer this time. No
hedging.
Dun dun dun.
No hedging, Damien.
Holger Rune. Let me be wrong on him for the umpteenth time. Holger Rune is going to defeat Daniil Medvedev. Is going to play Carlos Alcaraz in the final and is going to lose.
Do you know what? It got progressively easier, that prediction, in a way that I was most interested by the beginning of the sentence, and
then
it
the answer was always going to be the same at the end. Yeah,
right. Yeah, it's similar. Look at Vanch's face there. We can see it twice on our screen right now. We've also got the Tennis One app as well, logo. And on
that's the most Vanch screenshot I've ever seen. Or
we've
part
got
of your
2
screen.
images of him there. We just need a
Plus
third one of him.
one plus a stat about odd ATP 1000s.
Yeah. I don't know. Where's he getting that from?
I wonder if there's anyone that's made the semi-finals of all the even Masters.
I'm sure Vanch is already checking that.
I'm sure if Medvedev had done well, he probably has, by the way, and you could just forget the semi-finals he's made at 1, 3, 5, and 1 and 9 anyway. I think
Madrid, I don't think he would have made the semi.
No,
so he's made the semis of Indian Wells, Rome.
I mean everything but Madrid. I think.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
What about Monte Carlo?
Oh, Oh no, he made a semi when he beat Djokovic, right? He lost to.
Oh, did he get to the semi-finals of Monte Carlo? Okay.
Yeah, I mean 2019, right?
Long time ago. Yeah, that was a fun clay tournament for him for sure.
Barcelona final later that clay season. Maybe his best. Well, not his best clay season because of Rome, but like maybe almost his best clay season.
What a wild player Daniil Medvedev is. It's just it's fun. Even if he is a pusher or grinder or whatever you want to call it, it's still a lot of fun. Okay, on that bombshell, I think it is time to call it a night. Gone past 1 o'clock here in Germany, past midnight as it is for Ferguson in the UK. And still plenty of tennis action to look forward to. Enjoy that. But in the meantime, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.